Yes, I have been working with our South Carolina Freedom Caucus, who have been fighting the fight for us up in Columbia. And this is the current scoop. I will tell you, 6 months ago, I was told that Henry would not give his endorsement to Pam Abet unless Henry Jr. was guaranteed to be Pam Abet's lieutenant governor. Well, that seems to be a done deal now. Now, this is the next phase, and this is not a done deal yet. President Trump wants redistricting in South Carolina. That means the racially gerrymandered 6th district in Orangeburg will be no more. And I've looked at the numbers. The lowest out of all 7 districts, the lowest is a plus 14 Trump advantage. If we can't win a plus 14 Trump district, then we have no business running. So I think we're going to have 7 Republican districts. The last I heard, the special session will be this Friday. So tomorrow. That's what I heard. Whether it's true or not, I haven't. I'll put it to you this way: I haven't seen it on the major news. I've just heard it from the legislators. They're going to Columbia tomorrow for the special session. Redistricting in a special session only needs a majority vote. During regular session, you have to have a 2/3 majority. Special session called by the governor, no, you don't. So it looks like we're going to have all 7 Republican districts. One last thing to add: part of the Trump deal with old Foghorn Leghorn is this. President Trump will endorse Pamela Abet and Henry Jr. Alan Wilson will drop out of the race along with Mike Reichenbach. Mike Reichenbach will run for the 6th district seat currently held by Clyburn, and Alan Wilson will run for his dad's seat, Joe Wilson, in Lexington. All of these will have President Trump's endorsement. That's the latest that I have heard, and anyway, thank you all so much for being here, and keep informed.
We have one more special guest to speak tonight. Wasn't originally on the agenda, so I'm only to be at the end. So Robert Lee, who is running for the U.S. House in the 4th Congressional District. Tell us a little bit something about this.
Do we have anybody here from the 4th Congressional District? All right, got some. I couldn't say, do we have anybody here represented by Timmons?
No Slick Willie's here.
So Robert E. Lee, running for District 4, voted for Trump 3 times. I watched Inauguration Day, I was on 6, so I watched the whole thing. It was the best television of all time. Trump had been shot at, he'd been through the fire, he's been through all the legal lawfare. He was going to clean house, drain the swamp, release the files, stop the wars, bring back affordability. It was going to be just like his first term, 2026. He did a pretty good job. What happened? We're now in a war with Iran, and we're losing it pretty well. And that's going to kill affordability. There's going to be famine. The gas shortage is already hurting other parts of the world. And it's hitting Africa first, and then Malaysia, places down there. And we're going to see it more. It's not what we voted for, and it's very costly. The Department of War has already requested an extra $200 billion just for rearmament. We've lost several military bases in the regions, where there will be tens of billions of dollars. There's a loss of life. And the whole beginning of the war seemed something like it was something completely avoidable. We were in the middle of diplomacy, and I think an America First representative in there, if we had more of them in Congress, the administration would have known that there would have been a debate that would have pushed it back. Let's see. So more on the cost of war, loss of life. One of the things that got me interested in politics was the horrible loss of life that we've seen going on in Gaza for the past 2 years. It's very sad what's going on there at our tax dollar, of what we're doing. My 11-month-year-old AI says that he would only have a 30% chance of being alive and healthy if he was born in Gaza. That's terrible. I hate that. 80% of the casualties over there that we're funding to blow up are civilians. That's very sad. And just think that there would be a lot of better ways to look at that if we could renegotiate our relationships with our allies over there and just push back on the war machine.
Yeah. Right. Agree?
Anybody have
Right.
any questions for Robert?
That's brave. That's brave what you just said. It's true.
William Timmons did not sign Thomas Massey's discharge petition to force a vote on the Epstein Files Transparency Act, and he has no outrage at the DOJ's lack of compliance with that law after it passed. Despite being a former prosecutor, he's not brought anything to the they would have prosecuted, and that's who they're fighting.
What's he gonna do if they come out?
Well,
I mean,
you can look through the files yourself. All of the perpetrators
the
have
man's
their
dead,
names.
so what the hell's gonna prove?
The perpetrators, the people who have their names censored because they're walking around with beef jerky. Everybody having anything to do with beef jerky has their name redacted. That's
You
creepy.
know, you know pretty much who's on the files, there's nothing you can do to it. I mean, you can't prosecute. So what does it matter?
We can prosecute them. We know who they are. Proper justice.
That's not one of the,
I would say that there's pedophiles.
yeah, but you spend all that money, you ain't gonna prosecute. You ain't gonna
How much
prosecute.
disgusting is it?
They ain't gonna prosecute.
Doesn't make it moral, right?
It ain't gonna prosecute. I mean, all right, you say, I thought down the other day, you look at WY out there. You've got Gilstrap over easy. He's a pedophile. Okay? He owns a dealership. He's a pedophile. He spent one day.
Spending my tax dollars.
He spent one day in jail.
I hear what you're saying. Some of my
Yeah,
volunteers, they also
yeah.
don't like to
He
lead
owns
with
the
that.
dealership. He spent
Epstein
one day
Files
in
thing.
jail, and
But-
he's going to church, and they worship him. Okay?
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, so what the hell, what's it gonna do to get these actors and movie stars and all this stuff in an Epstein file? It ain't gonna do nothing.
All right.
So just, just drop it and go on.
One other question, if I can, I guess, do you have a plan for cutting our taxes, or are you in favor of increasing our taxes?
Yeah, so I'm an engineer, worked in manufacturing for 15 years. One of the great tools we use is the Pareto tool. Just look at your biggest hidden items. So I took a look at the federal budget. 28% of it is for health. Medicare, Medicaid, they aren't going anywhere. But what the services that they provide come from monolithic monopolies that are vertically integrated, mostly due to Obamacare that incentivized insurance companies to do that, vertically integrate, so they don't have to refund any of their payment. So using the tools that we have to break those up and increase competition in specifically what I'm talking about as the medical field would help reduce some of the cost. Also, the military budget, we know that the Department of War cannot pass an audit, so I would be a proponent of not increasing their budget until they can pass the audit.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? All right, I've got some signs if you can get some, and if you know anybody, I know only half of us are in District 4. If you know anybody up there, let them know.
Thank you, everybody, for coming tonight. I gave all the announcements earlier, so please look at all of those meetings, the events that are coming up, especially the transportation one that's coming up here on the 19th. It's important that we attend these and our voices are heard. Thank you again.